Hey fellow Voltwearers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we have another episode of Superhero Build. And as you can see, it will be Grognak, the Barbarian. In my opinion, one of the superhero with the most of the superpowers, as that's the only way you can explain a guy like Grognak running around with an axe and actually getting all those evil guys without much harm to himself. Even though the lore to Grognak is kind of limited, as we don't have like a dedicated full quest line for him to experience, we can learn a lot even by the cover of the comics and stuff that we learn from older Fallout games. Therefore, we know what kind of the guy Grognak the Barbarian is. Like, I think it can be described like a mix of a Tarzan and Rambo or something like that. But let's take a look for a moment on the covers of magazines. I can be missing some magazines, and yes, I'm using magazines. I don't have them only for show in here. Therefore, I'm not sure if I have every magazine that Grognak appear. But here is one of the magazines, Grognak the Barbarian, and you can see him in here with a sword actually, but quite often he's using the axe. Although sword is quite common as well, sometimes he's using both. For purpose of this build, we'll be using an axe. But what we can learn in here, you can see he's fighting with some kind of a sorcerer with range attacks to save a woman. That's a common theme. If Grognak see a woman in trouble, he jumps straight into action. He don't think about it. He ran to save a woman. Then that's a common theme, and that's one of the reasons I think he mostly ran solo. Although, of course, he's part of Unstoppables, then he can run with a team, but I think mostly he will end up solo, just because, you know, when there is a woman in trouble, he will run to help her, then there is no time to organize the team. And that's one odd one, like Jungle of the Bad Babies. I don't know what we can learn from in here, but definitely like the hardest mission for Grognak. He's injured and he's losing here because there are babies. Then he's really not good with babies. Another magazine, and here we have Alien. You can see that Grognak can fight aliens, and that's definitely not an easy fight, but looks like he will be doing quite well, and he's dual wielding his sword and an axe. Therefore, Bethesda, please give us dual wielding for melee. I need Grognak to be able to carry sword and axe, and we can't for this moment. Another magazine, Grognak the Barbarian number 9, and here you can see he's fighting a dragon. Then he has ability to fight like almost everything, and dragons look like have some kind of acid attack or something like that, and iconic axe in use. And of course, the woman in trouble behind, if you didn't notice, and he's saving her. Then yeah, that's a common theme for Grognak the Barbarian. He's a savior of women, and he's super powerful, super strength, super endurance, like stamina, and even though we cannot see any armor on him, he's really hard to put down. Now we can see him as well in Unstoppables covers, like Unstoppables number 1, and here we can learn that he's capable of using knives is required. You can see that he's carrying some knives with him, but as well axe. Like, that's definitely his main weapon. After that, we have Unstoppables 2, and that's like the only situation when he was kind of defeated, because he was possessed by Ragnarok. And by this magazine, you can as well see how powerful he is, as Ragnarok choose to possess him to have the maximum power. From all the Unstoppables, he possessed Grognak, then yeah, you can see his power, and other Unstoppables like defeated because of Grognarok. Then that's what we can learn just from the covers. Surprisingly a lot you can learn just by checking out the covers of those magazines and titles. And last Unstoppable magazine that I have, where Grognak appears, although from this one I don't know how much we can learn apart from the fact that we have Axe again. Then Axe is definitely a main weapon for him. And that being said, let me go into the build and I will explain what I choose, why, and of course I will show you how well my Grognak the Barbarian will work as a superhero. And here you can see my base special distribution. Of course, on top of that we'll have legendary perks. Let me show you. Legendary perks for Grognak. Extra agility to have more special. Sizzling style as well as funky dats, as Grognak needs to be super tanky. He's like the most tanky of all heroes. He don't care about damage because he always recover. Even if he will be defeated, that's only for a moment. He's like knocked out and then he's back up to action. Extra luck, and on top of everything, super strength, super stamina, because I already have 15 in strength, 15 in endurance as a base, and I added on top to have 20 in each to really prove that he's special. He's a superhero. Now, the perks. And of course, Barbarian, as I cannot skip this one because Grognak the Barbarian is on the perk card, and definitely this one needs to be in here and makes him more tanky as well. We have Slugger, all Slugger perks, rank 1, just because it's too expensive to upgrade them, as we have more important perks, like Blocker, again, super tankiness, Incisor, to help penetrate enemy armor, that's more powerful swings with melee weapon, and Martial Artist to swing faster, most likely that's fine. Perception, only 1 point, and Glow Sight in here, it's not super important, but then we have our Endurance, and a lot of tankiness comes from Endurance, like Life Giver, Ironclad for more resistance, Adamantium Skeleton, as he cannot get crippled. It will not be okay if your Grognak, the Barbarian, will somehow get crippled. It cannot happen to him. Then we have Fireproof, as he's fighting dragons, therefore he needs to be immune to some fire. And Radical, because I see him like a guy like a Rambo style. He do not care that there is radiation around. He do not care about healing. Remember to take a stim packs or other ways. He trusts in his supernatural abilities. Therefore, yeah, Radical, more rats, he's even stronger. He don't care about taking radiation. Then, as he's acting mostly solo, then Lone Wanderer. After that, of course, under Intelligence we have Makeshift Warrior, as he's not a dumb person. He's not a dumb person. He knows how to care about his melee weapons and how to handle stuff. After that, Agility, we have Action Boy in here, as he's, again, super stamina, always ready for action. Evasive, he's usually either not taking damage or is able to tank all the damage, then that's important. White Knight as well, because he will have actually armor under his outfit, although for the role-playing purposes we consider this armor as one of his superpowers and not actual armor. After that, Adrenaline for extra damage, Dodgy, that's very important, even more tankiness, and Gold Legs, because I don't have 2 pieces with reduced fall damage, and it will be really odd if Grognak will somehow fall and kill himself. Then it shouldn't happen. That's why there is Gold Legs and Underluck, Serendipity, and Ricochet. Again, tankiness. As you can see, he will be super tanky by those perks. Then Class Freak, as yes, Grognak here has mutations, but how I see the mutations on Grognak in here, I don't see it as post-war mutation that he got. I see it as his superpowers, supernatural abilities, and they just in there. And radiation itself, it doesn't touch him. He cannot get new abilities or lose any of abilities. He always had it. That's how I see it. He's not a ghoul. He cannot be ghoulified. He cannot be affected by radiation. Then that's why combination of Star Genes as Class Freak as representation of his superpowers. Now about the mutation that he does have in here, that's Adrenal Reaction for extra damage. That's Carnivore, because he will eat meat. I think he's a meat eater. Although he will not care about preparing food too much, he can go days without eating. But when he will have occasion and free time, he will cook and eat whatever he can find. After that, grounded for extra energy resistance, as he's not using energy weapons, he's using classic melee weapons, then it's safe to use grounded. Marsupial for extra height would represent his extra strength. If you are super powerful, you can jump higher. Then Scaly Skin, again, super resistant to damage. Speed Demon, he's definitely not slow. He somehow can get to enemies with a melee weapon. Then Speed Demon is a must. And Twisted Muscles to give him extra damage with his melee weapons. And now the gear on top of everything. It's a Vampire Grognak Axe, as he's a superhero. His supernatural ability allows him to heal during combat. That's why I see Vampire Grognak Axe fitting the best, and more power attack damage would mean he will strike really hard, what can reflect his ability to fight dragons. And after that, about the armor under armor, what helps in here, I have a backpack, although I would prefer if it will be invisible, as we want it to serve just as an extra armor piece. It's modded with armor plated for extra damage resistance, as we are going for full possible tankiness solo. Then I called it shield, like imagine it just a shield on his back or something like that, or nothing. And then armor that again represent just his supernatural abilities, and for that the best one is Secret Service, the highest resistance, and we have pneumatic on the torso, and Grognak shouldn't be staggered for any extended period of time. That's why that. And about the arms, we do have weighted. It doesn't help much, but always every little bit helps. And of course, all those armor pieces are unyielding, but we'll not care about setting his health exactly at Nerd Rage. We're not going to do that because that will be odd. He just don't care about radiation, and he's not even using Radaways. Whenever he will go down, we consider it as a knockout, and he's getting up after like several seconds, what represent the respawn in game. Then we have it all sorted. Now let's see how it works. And we'll test it on super mutants, as they are quite fair enemies. Like they have some damage and we can fight them as well. And you can see in here that usually like 2 swings for a super mutant. It depends how I hit them as well. Sometimes it's 1 swing, and as I'm sprinting, then it's considered to be a power attack, and we have more power attack on this weapon, what's really good. And now I missed, but then I got it. And as you can see, it's working. As in regards to the tankiness, you can notice that, yeah, I'm about immune to it. I'm about immune to all the damage, and this axe, this magic abilities, I can deal with them, no problem. Let's see if inside are level 100 or not. Okay, let's go. As you can see, Grognak works perfectly fine as a Rambo style. Okay, they not level 100, I don't know why. But Grognak works perfectly fine as a Rambo style hero that is always ready to go and rescue every woman in trouble. Then that's what he does, and he's about immune to anything. He's a true superhero. So you can see here like the most powerful, as he rely on his superhero abilities, not as much on gear or skill, just superhero abilities. Some of them are represented by the gear actually in game, but you need to roleplay it somehow, and there is no such an option to add like actual superhero abilities. Then we can sort it by collecting appropriate skills, perk points, and gear. And as you can see, works perfectly fine. Now, can he kill a dragon? And the only problem with slaying the dragon here is that, oh, I have a bunch of cultists helping me for whatever reason, and I don't want help. The only problem with slaying the dragon is that we cannot get him down with any ranged weapon. Grognak definitely will not use any gun. He will not touch a gun. Then he needs to do it exclusively with melee weapon. There is no way Grognak will touch a gun. It's like betrayal to his art, touching the gun. Oh, wait. We have a dragon. Have a dragon here. Let's see. Can we slay the dragon? I think we're doing good damage. Maybe we can slay the dragon. And the important thing is, dragon cannot slay me. Then that's good. Okay, dragon, get ready. If I can get the headshot, I'm trying to hit the head of this dragon. Chop off the head of the dragon. Come on, headless dragon. Yes, we can kill the dragon. Somehow the power of Grognak rendered dragon on the ground. I don't know how. I didn't cheat. I didn't use any weapon. I don't have any weapon on me. I can show you guys. That was just a superhero power. I have only this Grognak axe. I had nothing to pull dragon over the ground. But we did it. We slayed the dragon. Therefore, I think we can call this build fully successful. Even the last Scourge decided to just run away. He was like, oh no, not the unstoppable Grognak the Barbarian. And now, look at that. Dragon was slayed, lying here on the ground. I can ignore radiation pretty much for most part. And if there will be too much rats, I will just go down, respawn, what will represent like a short knockout. As you can knock out Grognak the Barbarian, but you cannot kill Grognak the Barbarian. I think one of his superpowers, he's basically like immortal. He cannot be permanently killed. Then, yeah, that's how I see it. Let me know, guys, what you think about this build. Are you happy with this version of Grognak the Barbarian? Did I miss something in regards to the lore? Is my representation of Grognak what you think he should be? I'm welcome all the input from your side. And now that will be everything for this build. Therefore, thank you lots for watching. And as always, see you all in the next one.